Hey, movie nerds! Today, we're stepping into from the world of John Wick, Ballerina, a 2025 action thriller that explores themes of vengeance, identity, and survival within a shadowy underworld, a story that asks us to look deeper, to question, and to feel beyond the surface. I'm glad you're here, because together we'll unravel the hidden layers, the subtle details, and the little moments that whisper the heart of the film. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe. Let's keep exploring these stories that shape how we see the world. Now, settle in, open your mind, and let's dive into the depths of this cinematic journey. From the very first frame, this film plunges us into a world drenched in danger and elegance, where brutality and grace intertwine in a dance as lethal as it is beautiful. Set within the expansive universe crafted by the John Wick saga, the story unfolds in a city that seems both familiar and eerily alien, a place where the streets hum with quiet menace and shadowed figures move like whispers between neon-lit alleys. It's a realm where codes govern violence, where survival demands precision, and where every choice can spiral into a deadly game of chess. At its core, this tale follows a young woman whose past is etched with loss and fire. Trained in the delicate yet deadly art of ballet, she exists in stark contrast to the violent world she navigates, a juxtaposition that the film uses to stunning effect. Her journey is one of transformation, from a girl seeking refuge and identity to a fierce agent of retribution, wielding both grace and grit as her weapons. The ballet studio where she first learned to move becomes a recurring symbol of innocence, discipline, and the fine line between creation and destruction. The film's narrative accelerates swiftly, drawing viewers into a web of intrigue that expands far beyond its protagonist's personal vendetta. From shadowy assassins lurking in the city's underbelly to secret organizations pulling strings from the darkness, the plot thickens with layers of alliances and betrayals. The action sequences are a breathtaking blend of balletic choreography and visceral combat, elevating every fight to a moment of artful violence that challenges conventional expectations. One of the most gripping aspects is the way the film balances its adrenaline-fueled set pieces with moments of quiet introspection. The protagonist's internal struggles are rendered with subtlety, her grief, her thirst for justice, her moments of doubt, and these emotions lend depth to the relentless momentum. Scenes where she confronts the ghosts of her past, or pauses amid chaos to find a fleeting moment of peace, invite audiences to connect with her humanity beneath the armor of vengeance. The story also delves into themes of legacy and the cyclical nature of violence. The protagonist is not just fighting external enemies but grappling with the shadows cast by her own history and the world she inhabits. The ballet motif resonates here. The discipline and repetition of training echo the inescapable patterns of revenge and survival. These thematic undercurrents enrich the film, providing layers that reward careful attention. As the plot unfolds, viewers are introduced to a cast of compelling characters whose loyalties and motives remain intriguingly opaque. Allies might become adversaries. Enemies reveal unexpected vulnerabilities. This fluidity keeps the narrative unpredictable and engaging, heightening suspense and emotional stakes. The film's world-building is meticulous, populating the city with vivid personalities that contribute to its texture and complexity. Among the major twists is a revelation that challenges the protagonist's understanding of her past and the forces arrayed against her. This turning point reshapes the narrative's trajectory, deepening the mystery and intensifying the conflict. The film doesn't shy away from moral ambiguity. Instead, it embraces the complexity of choices made in desperation and the blurred lines between justice and revenge. Visually, the film is a feast, a masterclass in blending sleek, stylized aesthetics with gritty realism. Neon-lit streets, shadowed interiors, and elegant ballet studios are rendered with meticulous care, creating a world that feels immersive and lived in. The cinematography employs dynamic camera work that mirrors the protagonist's movements, fluid and precise during dance and combat, yet tense and fractured in moments of crisis. The score complements this visual tapestry, weaving a sonic landscape that shifts from haunting melodies to pulsating rhythms, underscoring the film's emotional and narrative beats. Sound design enhances the atmosphere, from the whisper of a slipper on a wooden floor to the sharp clang of blades, a sensory immersion that draws audiences deeper into the experience. Ultimately, this film is a compelling addition to the world it inhabits, expanding its mythology while delivering a fresh, female-led perspective that balances elegance and ferocity. It invites viewers into a world where beauty and violence coexist in uneasy harmony, where every movement counts, and where the dance of survival is as intricate as it is deadly. If you're ready to be captivated by a story that fuses heart-pounding action with emotional depth, and to witness a heroine who defies convention with every step, then this cinematic journey awaits. Prepare to be drawn into a world where the lines between art and combat blur, secrets unravel in shadowed corridors, and every beat of the story pulses with intensity and grace. The film opens in a shadowed cityscape, where the cold gleam of neon cuts through a misty night, casting fractured reflections on rain-slick streets. Amidst this urban labyrinth lives a young girl named Ana, a fragile figure with the poise of a dancer but the weight of a tragic past pressing down upon her small shoulders. From the outset, we sense that she carries more than the discipline of ballet within her. Her eyes flicker with the flickers of survival, sharpened by loss and forged in silence. Ana's early life unfolds through a delicate mosaic of memories and glimpses. We see her practicing at a local ballet studio, the graceful arcs of her movements contrasting starkly with the harsh realities outside its doors. The studio is her sanctuary, a place where control and beauty reign amid the chaos of her surroundings. But peace is fleeting. Tragedy strikes early, a devastating event that shatters her world, propelling her from innocence into a relentless quest for justice and belonging. The narrative swiftly propels us into the underbelly of the city's criminal world. Ana, now a young woman, navigates this dangerous terrain with a precision that mirrors her dance. She is no longer just a ballerina, she is a calculated force, moving with lethal intent beneath the neon haze. Her mission is clear but fraught with peril: to hunt down those responsible for the darkness that consumed her family. The film uses her quest to pull back the veil on a secret society of assassins and power brokers who govern the city's shadows with ruthless efficiency. Key to this underworld is the delicate balance of power maintained through codes of honor, clandestine alliances, and whispered threats. Ana's infiltration into this realm reveals layers of deception and betrayal. Early encounters place her face to face with formidable foes, seasoned killers whose skills match her own and whose motivations remain obscured. These confrontations are not mere battles, they are dances of strategy and will, choreographed with a precision that elevates the tension and stakes. Interwoven with these external conflicts are Ana's internal struggles. Haunted by the ghosts of her past, she wrestles with identity and purpose. Scenes of solitary reflection, framed by the silent corridors of the ballet studio, contrast sharply with the visceral violence that defines her path. This duality infuses the story with emotional depth, reminding viewers that beneath the armor of vengeance lies a yearning for peace and self-understanding. As Ana's journey deepens, she forms tentative alliances that complicate her mission. Allies emerge from unexpected quarters, a seasoned mentor who sees both the dancer and the avenger within her, a mysterious figure whose own loyalties are ambiguous, and a network of rebels challenging the established order. These relationships add layers of trust and suspicion, fueling the narrative's suspense and emotional complexity. The city itself becomes a character, its labyrinthine streets and shadowed corners reflecting the tangled web of the plot. Cinematic sequences weave through underground clubs, abandoned theaters, and stark high-rises, each locale imbued with symbolic weight. The ballet studio, repeatedly revisited, stands as a beacon of discipline and memory, a stark contrast to the chaos of the streets. Through this interplay of settings, the film explores themes of control and chaos, light and shadow, art and violence. A pivotal early event occurs when Ana uncovers evidence pointing to a powerful figure orchestrating much of the city's underworld from behind the scenes. This discovery escalates the stakes, transforming her mission from personal vengeance into a broader confrontation with a system built on fear and manipulation. The narrative threads begin to intertwine, drawing in political intrigue, coded messages, and hidden histories that hint at the city's dark heartbeat. Action sequences escalate in intensity and creativity, blending Ana's balletic grace with fierce combat. The choreography is a standout element, each fight scene crafted like a performance, where every movement counts and every strike is both precise and expressive. These moments are breathtaking, capturing the paradox of beauty and brutality, and reflecting the protagonist's unique fusion of art and violence. Amid the relentless pursuit, the film pauses to explore moments of vulnerability. Flashbacks reveal glimpses of Ana's family life before tragedy, scenes suffused with warmth and light that make the present shadows all the more poignant. Dialogues with mentors and allies delve into philosophical reflections on fate, free will, and the cost of vengeance, adding intellectual texture to the narrative. The first half closes on a tense crescendo, a daring infiltration into a heavily guarded stronghold that tests Ana's resolve and skills. The mission unfolds with escalating suspense, combining stealth, combat, and quick thinking. This sequence not only propels the plot but crystallizes the protagonist's evolution from a survivor shaped by loss to an agent of change determined to rewrite her destiny. Throughout, The film balances its kinetic energy with moments of introspection, weaving a narrative that is both thrilling and deeply human. The journey invites viewers to witness not just a battle against external enemies, but a profound quest for identity, justice, and redemption. The first half lays a rich foundation, setting the stage for revelations, confrontations, and transformations yet to come. The city's shadows deepen as the story moves forward, thickening with secrets and danger that threaten to engulf everyone who dares to walk its perilous streets. The young woman who once sought quiet refuge in dance now strides with the fierce determination of a force awakened, her every step echoing the sharp, measured rhythm of a life transformed by loss and purpose. The layers of the city's underworld unravel further, exposing webs of deceit, betrayal, and unexpected alliances that blur the lines between friend and foe. At the heart of this unfolding chaos is the revelation of the true architect behind the turmoil, a shadowy figure whose influence stretches far beyond the city's darkest corners. This antagonist is no mere villain, but a complex presence embodying the corrupted power structures that have long preyed upon the vulnerable. The protagonist's discovery of this puppeteer shifts the narrative from a personal vendetta into a broader war for justice and liberation. Every move becomes fraught with higher stakes, as the fight transcends individual revenge to challenge the very foundations of the oppressive order. This turning point unleashes a cascade of consequences. The protagonist's careful plans collide with unforeseen obstacles, a brutal crackdown by merciless enforcers, betrayals by those once trusted, and the constant pressure of time closing in. The city becomes a chessboard where every piece is in peril, and strategy must be as fluid and precise as the protagonist's own movements. She navigates this shifting landscape with growing skill, blending stealth, combat, and cunning in a relentless push toward dismantling the forces arrayed against her. The film's action intensifies, blending balletic choreography with raw combat in sequences that are as breathtaking as they are brutal. One standout scene unfolds within the opulent halls of a clandestine gala, where beneath the glittering facade, danger lurks in every shadow. The protagonist moves like a ghost through this gilded cage, turning the elegance of the setting into a stage for a deadly dance of survival and subversion. The choreography here is not only physical but symbolic, weaving themes of control, performance, and rebellion. Parallel to the external battles are the internal struggles that deepen the character's complexity. Haunted by memories and driven by a fragile hope, she confronts the cost of her choices, both to herself and to those around her. Moments of vulnerability surface in stolen glances, quiet conversations, and flashes of doubt, humanizing a figure often seen through the lens of vengeance. These intimate scenes provide emotional counterpoints to the relentless action, grounding the story in profound human experience. The narrative's tension is further heightened by the introduction of a rival whose presence challenges the protagonist's path. This antagonist, with motives that are as layered as they are personal, embodies a mirror reflecting the protagonist's own darkness and light. Their encounters crackle with intensity, sometimes violent, sometimes charged with unspoken history, exploring themes of identity, choice, and the thin line between justice and obsession. Their dynamic becomes a central thread, weaving complexity and nuance into the story's tapestry. Amid these confrontations, alliances shift unpredictably. Characters whose loyalties once seemed certain reveal hidden agendas or succumb to fear and self-interest. These betrayals amplify the sense of isolation and urgency, forcing the protagonist to rely increasingly on her instincts and resilience. The film's climactic arc is a masterclass in suspense and emotional payoff. A meticulously planned assault on the antagonist's stronghold brings together all the narrative strands in a high-stakes confrontation. The sequence unfolds with a blend of strategic precision and raw chaos, capturing the unpredictability of battle and the toll it exacts. Every moment pulses with urgency, the clash of blades, the whisper of footsteps, the flash of gunfire, building to a crescendo that is both thrilling and deeply resonant. In this final confrontation, the protagonist confronts not only the external enemy but the shadows within herself. The resolution is neither tidy nor simple. It embraces complexity and ambiguity, reflecting the messy realities of justice and healing. Sacrifices are made, truths revealed, and futures forged amid the wreckage of the past. The ballet that began as a symbol of innocence and control becomes a metaphor for transformation, of power reclaimed and identity redefined. As the story draws to a close, the city's oppressive shadows begin to lift, hinting at change but acknowledging the scars that remain. The protagonist's journey ends not with triumphant closure but with a cautious hope, a recognition that survival is ongoing and that peace must be earned anew each day. The final scenes linger on moments of quiet strength and fragile connection, reminding viewers that amidst darkness, light endures. This unfolding narrative, rich in action and emotion, leaves audiences with more than adrenaline-fueled excitement. It invites reflection on the costs of vengeance, the complexity of identity, and the enduring power of resilience. Through its twists, confrontations, and resolutions, the film crafts a story that is as much about the dance within as it is about the battles fought without, an intricate performance of survival, redemption, and the search for meaning in a fractured world. In the heart of this story lies a cast whose complexities pulse with the tension and grace that define the film itself. These are not mere archetypes locked into familiar roles of hero and villain, but richly textured individuals whose inner lives and contradictions breathe life into the narrative. Their journeys unfold with a fluidity that mirrors the choreography at the film's core, each movement deliberate, each gesture layered with meaning, revealing the delicate interplay between identity, choice, and circumstance. At the center is Ana, the young woman whose path from innocence to vengeance forms the emotional spine of the story. Ana is a study in contrasts, the disciplined elegance of a ballerina tempered by the cold steel of a survivor. Her ballet training is not just a skill but a metaphor, shaping how she inhabits the world, precise, controlled, yet capable of explosive power. Her movements speak volumes, conveying emotions she often cannot voice, whether it's the tension in a poised stance or the release in a rapid sequence of strikes. Through Ana, the film explores the duality of beauty and brutality, vulnerability and strength. Her character is marked by a profound emotional depth rooted in loss and resilience. The early tragedy that propels her into the underworld haunts her actions, fueling a relentless drive that borders on obsession. Yet, beneath this steely exterior lies a yearning for connection and peace, glimpsed in quiet moments of reflection and the tender memories of her past. This inner conflict makes Ana relatable and human, transforming her from a distant avenger into a fully realized protagonist whose struggles resonate beyond the screen. Ana's evolution is shaped by her relationships, beginning with her mentor, a seasoned figure whose guidance is as much about survival skills as it is about navigating the moral complexities of their world. This mentor embodies experience tempered by regret, offering Ana a mirror to her own potential futures. Their interactions oscillate between harsh lessons and moments of unexpected warmth, underscoring themes of legacy and the transmission of knowledge. Through this dynamic, the film explores the tension between independence and dependence, youth and wisdom. Opposite Ana stands the primary antagonist, a figure whose presence looms large yet remains shrouded in mystery. This character is crafted with nuance, avoiding the trap of one-dimensional villainy. Their motivations are tangled in personal history and ideological conviction, reflecting a worldview shaped by power and survival in equal measure. The antagonist's calculated cruelty is balanced by glimpses of vulnerability and conflicted humanity, creating a tension that elevates their encounters beyond mere conflict to philosophical dueling. The interplay between Ana and this antagonist is charged with layered meaning. Their confrontations are dances of wills, each testing the other's resolve and beliefs. Symbolically, they represent opposing forces, light and shadow, innocence and corruption, freedom and control, yet their similarities hint at shared origins and mirrored destinies. This duality adds depth to their conflict, inviting viewers to consider themes of identity and choice within the broader narrative of vengeance and justice. Supporting characters enrich the emotional and thematic landscape. Among them is a figure whose ambiguous allegiance challenges both Ana and the audience to question trust and loyalty. This character's charm and pragmatism mask a survivalist heart, offering moments of levity and unpredictability. Their interactions with Ana oscillate between alliance and tension, reflecting the precarious nature of relationships in a world governed by secrecy and danger. Another significant presence is a member of the underground network resisting the city's corrupt powers. This character embodies hope and collective action, contrasting with Ana's solitary quest. Their idealism and courage provide a counterpoint to the film's darker elements, illuminating possibilities for change and redemption. The film uses this figure to explore themes of community and resistance, broadening the scope beyond individual vengeance. The film also delves into the psychological toll of the characters' lives. Scenes depicting moments of doubt, fear, and exhaustion humanize even the most hardened figures. The actors portray these nuances with restraint and authenticity, conveying unspoken pain through subtle expressions, a tremble in the hand, a fleeting hesitation, a haunted glance. These details invite empathy and deepen audience engagement, transforming the narrative from a spectacle of violence into an intimate study of survival. The ballet motif permeates character development beyond Ana. Dance becomes a language of expression, control, and defiance. Characters' relationships with movement, whether through memory, training, or combat, reflect their inner states. This symbolism weaves a connective thread through the story, linking disparate experiences and highlighting the tension between discipline and chaos. Family and loss emerge as undercurrents shaping motivations and conflicts. Ana's fractured family history, glimpsed in flashbacks and memories, informs her actions and emotional landscape. The film portrays family not only as a source of love, but also as a site of trauma and complexity. These themes resonate universally, grounding the film's high-stakes drama in relatable human experience. The antagonists' backstories are layered with elements of tragedy and ambition, illustrating how environments and choices mold identity. The antagonists' backstories are layered with elements of tragedy and ambition, illustrating how environments and choices mold identity. Their journeys reveal the costs of power and the compromises demanded by survival. This nuanced portrayal challenges viewers to grapple with moral ambiguity, understanding villains as products of circumstance rather than mere embodiments of evil. Secondary characters, while less central, contribute richness and texture. Their brief appearances and interactions provide glimpses into the city's social fabric, its hierarchies, codes, and contradictions. These figures serve as reflections and foils, illuminating facets of the protagonists and antagonists alike. The film's dialogue and visual storytelling work in concert to reveal character. Moments of silence and stillness are as telling as spoken words, allowing expressions and gestures to convey complex emotions. The careful framing of shots, close-ups that capture subtle shifts, wide shots that isolate figures against the cityscape, enhances psychological depth and narrative resonance. In their performances, the actors bring a balance of physicality and emotional nuance. Fight scenes become extensions of character, choreographed to reveal personality and intent as much as skill. Intimate scenes convey vulnerability and growth, making the characters' journeys compelling and credible. Ultimately, the film's characters are vessels through which universal themes of loss, resilience, identity, and redemption are explored. Their intertwined stories create a rich mosaic that elevates the film beyond genre conventions. Through their struggles and transformations, the narrative invites reflection on what it means to reclaim agency, to seek justice, and to find humanity amid the shadows. Beneath the sleek, intense exterior of this film lies a fascinating tapestry of stories from its creation. Moments of serendipity, unexpected challenges, and quirky anecdotes that color the production with a richness often invisible to audiences. The making of this cinematic experience was anything but routine. It was a journey woven with peculiarities that reflect the unpredictable alchemy of filmmaking, where art and reality collide in surprising ways. These strange and delightful facts not only reveal the lengths to which the cast and crew went to bring this story to life, but also hint at the magic that arises when passion meets adversity. One of the earliest curiosities emerged even before cameras began rolling. The film's ballet sequences demanded authenticity, so the production team sought out a ballerina who could seamlessly blend the demands of classical dance with the physicality required for action choreography. They found a remarkable young dancer, but what made her truly unique was her background, not just in ballet, but in martial arts. This rare combination allowed her to move with the elegance of a prima ballerina while executing fight sequences with precise, disciplined aggression. Her influence extended beyond performance. She helped choreograph many of the combat scenes, infusing them with a fluidity and grace that elevated the film's visual storytelling. Yet, training the cast to match this level of physicality presented a different challenge. The lead actress, while immensely talented, came from a traditional acting background with little formal dance experience. To prepare, she underwent an intense regimen, morning ballet classes followed by afternoons learning fight choreography. On one occasion, a particularly grueling rehearsal ended with her accidentally knocking over a series of ornate mirrors in the studio, shattering them spectacularly. Instead of frustration, the director saw in this accident a metaphor for the protagonist's fractured identity and insisted the broken mirrors be incorporated into a later scene's set design, a subtle nod to the film's themes of brokenness and reconstruction. Filming in the city's sprawling, labyrinthine alleys added layers of complexity and oddity to the shoot. One day, the crew was startled by the sudden appearance of a troupe of street performers who claimed to be inspired by the film and had decided to stage an impromptu performance nearby. Rather than disrupt the shoot, the director invited them to become unofficial extras in a scene, capturing their raw energy and spontaneity. This unexpected collaboration brought a vibrant, unpredictable element to the urban backdrop, blurring lines between scripted action and real-life artistry. The film's nighttime shoots were notorious for their difficulty. The director's vision demanded capturing the ethereal glow of neon lights reflecting off wet pavement and the interplay of shadows that shroud the city's secrets. Yet, these conditions proved challenging not just technically but atmospherically. Crew members frequently reported eerie sensations while filming in deserted streets, whispers, fleeting shadows, and unexplained chills. Some joked that the city's long, dark nights had awakened its ghosts. One makeup artist swore she saw a shadowy figure lurking just beyond the set's edge during a break, only for it to vanish when approached. These stories became part of the production's folklore, adding an otherworldly layer to the film's already moody atmosphere. Technical ingenuity was required to create the film's signature fight scenes, which blend the fluidity of ballet with the brutality of close-quarters combat. To capture the seamless transitions between dance and violence, the cinematographer and stunt coordinator devised custom rigs that allowed for continuous, sweeping shots following the actors through complex choreography without cuts. One particularly ambitious sequence involved a single, unbroken take that traversed multiple rooms, stairwells, and rooftops. The coordination demanded flawless timing and rehearsal. On the day of filming, an unexpected rainstorm threatened to halt production, but the team pressed on, and the resulting footage's shimmering wet surfaces and mist only heightened the scene's intensity and beauty. The sound department's approach to capturing the film's audio landscape was equally inventive. Instead of relying solely on studio recordings, they embedded miniature microphones into the dancers' costumes to pick up the subtle rustle of fabric and the soft tap of point shoes on wood. These delicate sounds were layered with environmental audio, urban hum, distant sirens, the clatter of heels on pavement, to create a rich, immersive auditory tapestry. At times, the actors had to learn to modulate their breathing and movements to accommodate the sensitivity of the equipment, adding a new dimension to their performances. One of the most unusual behind-the-scenes stories involves the film's iconic prop weapon, a sleek, custom-designed dagger that blends artistry with lethality. The prop was crafted by a master bladesmith who insisted on forging it by traditional methods used centuries ago. The process was so intricate and demanding that it took over 2 months to complete a single blade, and multiple versions had to be created to withstand the rigors of filming. On set, the dagger became something of a talisman. Actors treated it with reverence, and one stunt performer credited it with giving her a heightened sense of focus during fight scenes. The film's elaborate costumes also harbor secrets. Designed to merge the elegance of ballet attire with tactical practicality, they required a delicate balance between flexibility and protection. The film's elaborate costumes also harbor secrets. Designed to merge the elegance of ballet attire with tactical practicality, they required a delicate balance between flexibility and protection. The costume designer collaborated with material scientists to develop fabrics that could withstand intense physical exertion and quick changes without sacrificing aesthetic appeal. During one shoot, a costume malfunction led to a spectacular wardrobe tear mid-action sequence. Rather than reshoot, the director embraced the imperfection, incorporating the tear into the character's arc as a symbol of vulnerability and relentless determination. A particularly heartwarming anecdote revolves around the film's tight-knit cast and crew. Despite the intense schedule and physical demands, a sense of family grew on set. To unwind, cast members created a tradition of dance battles during breaks, improvised contests blending ballet moves with freestyle dance. These playful competitions not only lifted spirits but helped actors embody the physicality required for their roles. One crew member recalled that these moments of joy were essential in sustaining energy and camaraderie during grueling shoots. The production's commitment to authenticity extended to the urban environments chosen for filming. The team scouted lesser-known neighborhoods that retained architectural features evocative of the film's stylized city. Many locations were active communities, and the production worked closely with residents to minimize disruption and even engaged locals as extras. This collaboration brought a grounded, lived-in quality to the film's setting, enriching its texture and believability. One of the more peculiar technical challenges involved filming scenes in cramped, confined spaces intended to feel claustrophobic and tense. To achieve this, the camera crew designed miniature rigs capable of navigating narrow corridors and tight stairwells while maintaining smooth, cinematic movement. The innovation allowed the filmmakers to immerse audiences in the character's experience, heightening suspense without sacrificing visual clarity. Post-production also holds its own trove of interesting tidbits. Editor Lydia Chen employed experimental techniques to blend rhythmic cuts with slower, more meditative sequences, mirroring the film's thematic contrasts between action and introspection. Sound editor Carlos Mendez created layered audio collages that included subtle echoes of ballet music woven into fight scenes, reinforcing the narrative's fusion of art and violence. In marketing, the film took a bold step by launching an immersive online experience that invited fans to explore virtual recreations of key locations, uncover hidden clues, and engage with the story's mythology. This campaign blurred the lines between audience and narrative, creating a buzz that extended beyond traditional trailers and posters. Finally, the film's wrap party was notable not just for celebration but for a heartfelt tribute to the city and communities that hosted the production. Cast and crew participated in a local dance performance, blending ballet with street styles, symbolizing the fusion at the film's core. This event encapsulated the spirit of collaboration and creativity that fueled the entire project. In all, these behind-the-scenes stories and strange facts reveal a production alive with passion, innovation, and unexpected moments of magic. They remind us that filmmaking is a journey filled with unpredictability, where the extraordinary often emerges from the ordinary, and where the dedication of countless individuals transforms vision into reality. There is a compelling tension woven throughout this film, a deliberate dance between spectacle and subtlety, action and introspection, that invites viewers to look beyond the surface and engage with the deeper currents shaping its narrative. The critical events depicted are not merely plot points but resonant moments layered with symbolic weight and thematic complexity. To truly appreciate the film's impact and its reception, one must delve into these pivotal moments, examining how they reflect broader ideas about identity, justice, and the human condition. The opening tragedy that shapes the protagonist's journey is a foundational event charged with emotional and symbolic significance. This loss is portrayed with a restraint that avoids melodrama, instead opting for a quiet, almost haunting sequence that lingers in memory. Critics have noted how this choice grounds the narrative in authentic grief, setting the tone for a story where personal pain fuels larger struggles. This event serves as the catalyst not only for the protagonist's quest but also for the film's exploration of themes such as trauma, resilience, and transformation. Early confrontations between the protagonist and her adversaries are crafted as intricate psychological and physical battles. These encounters are notable for their choreography and pacing, but also for the way they reveal character and moral ambiguity. Unlike traditional hero-villain dynamics, these clashes expose the blurred lines between victim and perpetrator, justice and vengeance. Critics have highlighted how the film challenges viewers to question assumptions about good and evil, complicating the emotional landscape and enriching the narrative texture. The protagonist's infiltration into the criminal underworld unfolds as a key narrative arc laden with thematic depth. This descent into darkness mirrors classical motifs of descent and rebirth, positioning the journey as a rite of passage fraught with peril and self-discovery. Scenes set in shadowed clubs, abandoned theaters, and secretive meeting places function as liminal spaces where identity is tested and alliances forged. From a critical perspective, these settings amplify the film's exploration of duality, the interplay of appearance and reality, control and chaos. One of the most discussed moments is the protagonist's relationship with her mentor, a figure embodying both guidance and the weight of moral compromise. Their dynamic encapsulates themes of legacy, authority, and the transmission of knowledge. Critics have praised the nuanced portrayal of mentorship as fraught with tension and affection, highlighting how it deepens the protagonist's character arc and underscores the complexities of survival in a corrupted world. The film's narrative structure deliberately intertwines past and present, using flashbacks to reveal key character motivations and historical context. This non-linear approach has been analyzed as a technique that mirrors the protagonist's fractured psyche and the recursive nature of trauma. By weaving memories with present action, the film invites viewers to piece together the emotional and narrative puzzle, engaging them in an active process of interpretation. The revelation of the antagonist's identity and motivations marks a pivotal turning point with profound thematic resonance. Far from a simple villain, this character embodies systemic corruption and the seductive allure of power. Their complexity challenges viewers to confront uncomfortable truths about complicity and the cyclical nature of violence. Critics have noted that this nuanced portrayal elevates the film beyond genre conventions, inviting reflection on societal structures and personal responsibility. The climactic assault on the antagonist's stronghold has been lauded for its technical mastery and emotional intensity. The sequence balances meticulously choreographed action with moments of vulnerability, creating a visceral and immersive experience. From a critical standpoint, the assault serves as a metaphor for confronting one's demons, both external and internal, and the costs inherent in such confrontations. The editing's rhythmic pacing and the cinematography's dynamic framing have been highlighted for heightening tension while maintaining narrative clarity. Throughout the film, themes of identity and transformation are woven into visual and narrative motifs. The repeated use of mirrors, fractured reflections, and dance movements serve as symbols of the protagonist's evolving self and the tension between control and chaos. Critics have explored how these motifs deepen the film's emotional resonance, providing a language through which internal struggles are externalized. The film's handling of female agency has sparked critical discussion. The protagonist's journey challenges traditional portrayals of women in action cinema, emphasizing complexity, vulnerability, and empowerment. Her physical prowess is matched by emotional depth, and her story is rooted in personal history rather than generic revenge tropes. This nuanced representation has been celebrated as a meaningful contribution to contemporary cinema, expanding the possibilities for female-led narratives. The film's score and sound design have been analyzed as integral to its thematic expression. The minimalist, atmospheric music complements the visual austerity, while the layering of environmental sounds creates an immersive sense of place. Critics have noted how the soundscape reinforces emotional undercurrents, subtly guiding viewer response and amplifying the film's mood. Audience reception reflects the film's layered approach. Many viewers have responded to its blend of thrilling action and thoughtful character study, appreciating its departure from formulaic storytelling. Discussions in fan communities often focus on the film's rich symbolism and moral ambiguity, evidencing its engagement beyond entertainment. Conversely, some critiques highlight moments where pacing slows or complexity challenges accessibility, illustrating the tension between artistic ambition and mainstream appeal. Ultimately, the film's significant events and their critical interpretation reveal a work that is as much a meditation on human complexity as it is a showcase of action cinema. Its narrative invites viewers to grapple with questions of justice, identity, and resilience, encouraging reflection on the costs and possibilities of transformation. Through its layered storytelling and thematic depth, the film carves out a space for thoughtful engagement within a genre often dominated by spectacle. This synthesis of intense narrative, rich character development, and symbolic nuance creates a cinematic experience that lingers, provoking thought, stirring emotion, and redefining expectations. It stands as a testament to the power of film to explore the shadows within and beyond, illuminating the human condition with both grace and grit. There's a rhythm to making a film like this, a delicate choreography behind the scenes that mirrors the balletic grace and precise violence on screen. The journey from script to silver screen was anything but straightforward, shaped by a blend of intense preparation, unexpected challenges, and moments of serendipity that would come to define the production's unique character. It's a story of collaboration across disciplines, where artistry met innovation, and where the line between the art of dance and the craft of filmmaking blurred in fascinating ways. From the very beginning, the filmmakers knew authenticity would be paramount. The protagonist's dual identity as a ballerina and an assassin demanded a level of physicality and emotional depth that transcended typical action fare. To achieve this, the production enlisted not only experienced actors but also expert dancers and fight choreographers who could seamlessly blend two worlds often seen as incompatible. The ballet sequences weren't mere embellishments but integral to the character's story, so a significant portion of pre-production focused on crafting a vocabulary of movement that would translate the protagonist's internal struggle into physical expression. Casting was a meticulous process. The lead actress was chosen not only for her acting chops but for her willingness and ability to endure the demanding training regimen that combined rigorous ballet with intense combat choreography. Before cameras rolled, she spent months under the tutelage of professional dancers and stunt coordinators, building endurance and mastering the fluidity required to make each fight scene appear as a natural extension of dance. The blend of these disciplines brought a freshness to the action sequences that critics and audiences alike found captivating. One of the more intriguing challenges arose from the film's visual aesthetic. The director sought a look that balanced the stark elegance of ballet with the gritty textures of the urban underworld. To realize this vision, the cinematographer developed a lighting strategy that combined naturalistic shadows with stylized color palettes. Shooting often took place in carefully chosen locations, abandoned theaters, subterranean clubs, and artfully decayed warehouses, that evoked both beauty and menace. The interplay of light and shadow was crafted with painstaking precision, sometimes requiring hours of set dressing and experimentation with diffusers and reflectors to capture the perfect mood. The production design team embraced symbolism in their work. Costumes were not just functional but narrative tools, blending the lines between performance attire and tactical gear. Fabrics were chosen to reflect the protagonist's dual nature, soft silks and tulle juxtaposed with reinforced leather and metallic accents. Accessories and props carried subtle meanings, For instance, a recurring motif of fractured mirrors appeared in costumes and set pieces, visually representing fractured identities and hidden truths. Sound design was another arena of innovation. Instead of relying solely on traditional scoring, the sound team incorporated real-world recordings, ambient noises from dance studios, the faint creak of floorboards under dancers' feet, the subtle rustle of fabric. These sounds were layered beneath the musical score, which itself was a hybrid of classical orchestration and electronic elements. Composer Lila Vargas worked closely with sound designers to create a sonic palette that shifted fluidly between tension and tranquility, mirroring the narrative's emotional rhythms. One fascinating behind-the-scenes story centers on the filming of the film's most ambitious fight sequence, a single continuous shot weaving through a sprawling set that replicated the labyrinthine urban environment. The complexity required synchronized choreography not only among the actors but also the camera operators, lighting technicians, and stunt coordinators. Early rehearsals were marred by missteps, with actors missing marks and camera angles failing to capture the fluidity of movement. But after weeks of relentless practice, the team pulled off a flawless take that would become a highlight of the final cut. The dedication and teamwork exemplified in this sequence became a source of pride and inspiration for the entire crew. The stunt team played a crucial role in balancing authenticity with safety. Many sequences involved intricate acrobatics and high-risk maneuvers that required creative solutions. To simulate the weightless grace of ballet in combat, stunt coordinators developed harness systems and specialized padding that allowed actors to execute complex flips and falls while minimizing injury. On one occasion, a stunt double narrowly avoided a serious accident during a rooftop scene, a moment that underscored the inherent dangers of the production and reinforced the team's commitment to rigorous safety protocols. The film's extensive use of practical effects, particularly in combat scenes, contributed to its visceral realism. Instead of relying heavily on CGI, the production favored tangible sets, physical props, and choreographed stunts. This approach required careful coordination between departments, ensuring that every punch, every weapon clash, felt grounded and impactful. The actors embraced this tactile environment, which in turn enhanced their performances, fostering a genuine sense of immersion and urgency. Another delightful anecdote comes from the unexpected role of the ballet studio used as a recurring location. The space, an actual historic theater with rich architectural details, became a haven for the cast and crew. During breaks, dancers would practice routines, and actors would rehearse lines surrounded by ornate moldings and faded grandeur. The studio's ambience seeped into the performances, blurring the lines between the film's world and the real passion for dance shared by many on set. The production's logistics posed formidable challenges, particularly when coordinating night shoots and ensuring continuity in rapidly changing weather conditions. Scenes filmed outdoors often required multiple takes over several nights to capture consistent lighting and atmospheric effects. The crew developed meticulous shooting schedules, sometimes working through freezing temperatures and unpredictable rain to maintain the film's visual coherence. These efforts, while exhausting, were fueled by a shared dedication to crafting a world that felt both authentic and cinematic. In post-production, editor Lydia Chen faced the intricate task of weaving together the film's diverse elements, action, character development, thematic symbolism, into a coherent and emotionally resonant whole. Her approach favored pacing that allowed tension to build gradually, punctuated by moments of stillness that gave weight to the narrative's quieter emotions. The collaboration between editing and sound design was particularly notable. Sequences where music, ambient noise, and visual rhythm intersected seamlessly became signature moments that drew acclaim. Marketing the film embraced its unique blend of elegance and intensity. Promotional materials highlighted the fusion of ballet and action, featuring dynamic imagery of the protagonist in motion alongside stylized visual motifs from the film. Social media campaigns invited audiences to engage with behind-the-scenes content, choreography tutorials, and interactive experiences that deepened appreciation for the film's artistic ambitions. This approach cultivated a dedicated fan base eager to explore the film's rich aesthetic and thematic layers. The wrap party was more than a celebration, it was a reflection of the bonds forged through shared challenges and creative triumphs. Cast and crew gathered in a venue transformed with elements reminiscent of the film's sets, mirrors, soft lighting, and music blending classical and contemporary styles. Impromptu dance performances and storytelling sessions captured the spirit of collaboration that had defined the production, leaving participants with lasting memories beyond the screen. Reflecting on the filmmaking journey reveals a tapestry woven from innovation, resilience, and artistry. Every department, from choreography to cinematography, sound to costume, contributed threads that together created a film that is both thrilling and deeply expressive. These behind-the-scenes stories remind us that the magic of cinema emerges not just from visionary ideas but from the dedicated, passionate people who bring them to life through patience, creativity, and a willingness to embrace the unexpected. The world this film invites us into is one where every shadow, every glimmer of light, and every silent corridor tells a story. The setting isn't just a passive backdrop, it is a living, breathing presence, a character in its own right that shapes the narrative's emotional and thematic contours. From the stark elegance of the ballet studio to the labyrinthine streets of a city steeped in mystery and menace, each location is chosen and crafted with an eye toward amplifying the tension, beauty, and complexity at the heart of the story. The ballet studio emerges early as a sanctuary, a place where grace and discipline offer a fragile respite from the chaos of the outside world. Its high ceilings, polished wooden floors, and tall, narrow windows letting in shafts of muted light create an atmosphere simultaneously serene and charged. This space embodies the protagonist's inner world, the discipline she clings to, the memories she cherishes, and the tension between control and release. The studio's minimalist decor allows movement to take center stage, and its silence resonates with the echoes of both triumph and loss. Throughout the film, this setting reappears at pivotal moments, its familiarity grounding the character even as her world spirals. In stark contrast, the urban environments are rendered with a gritty, textured realism that immerses viewers in a city teetering between beauty and decay. The filmmakers sought locations that reflected this duality: abandoned theaters with peeling paint, narrow alleys lit by flickering neon signs, towering high-rises that cast long, cold shadows. Each locale is chosen not just for its visual impact but for its symbolic resonance. The contrast between the elegant lines of the ballet and the jagged edges of the cityscape underscores the film's central themes of juxtaposition: innocence and corruption, order and chaos, vulnerability and power. The city's streets serve as a labyrinthine maze, their twisting paths and hidden corners mirroring the protagonist's complex journey. Cinematic sequences often trace her movement through these spaces with a fluidity that blurs the lines between predator and prey. The urban setting is alive with ambient sounds, the distant hum of traffic, the murmur of voices, the occasional clang of metal, that build a textured sonic environment reinforcing the narrative's tension. Night scenes especially leverage the interplay of light and shadow, where pools of darkness conceal threats and neon glows hint at unseen forces. The film's visual palette plays a crucial role in establishing mood and tone. Cinematographer Rafael Marquez embraced a restrained color scheme dominated by cool blues, muted grays, and soft whites, punctuated by bursts of vibrant color: a red scarf fluttering in the wind, the golden glow of a street lamp, the shimmering fabric of a costume. This selective use of color not only heightens visual interest but also serves as an emotional guide, signaling shifts in tone and character state. The subdued base palette reinforces the film's atmosphere of melancholy and suspense, while warmer tones inject moments of intimacy and hope. Lighting design is equally integral to the film's language. The film's visual palette plays a crucial role in establishing mood and tone. Cinematographer Rafael Marquez embraced a restrained color scheme dominated by cool blues, muted grays, and soft whites, punctuated by bursts of vibrant color: a red scarf fluttering in the wind, the golden glow of a street lamp, the shimmering fabric of a costume. This selective use of color not only heightens visual interest but also serves as an emotional guide, signaling shifts in tone and character state. The subdued base palette reinforces the film's atmosphere of melancholy and suspense, while warmer tones inject moments of intimacy and hope. Lighting design is equally integral to the film's language. Scenes often rely on naturalistic sources, such as sunlight filtering through dusty windows or the stark illumination of streetlights, to create a sense of authenticity and immediacy. In darker moments, chiaroscuro effects are employed, where sharp contrasts between light and shadow sculpt faces and spaces, enhancing the sense of mystery and psychological depth. The careful modulation of lighting also reflects thematic undercurrents, the interplay of visibility and concealment, revelation and secrecy, that permeate the story. Camera work mirrors the narrative's rhythmic shifts between tension and grace. During sequences focused on ballet, the camera moves with fluid, sweeping motions, tracking shots that follow dancers with effortless elegance, close-ups that capture the precision of fingers and feet. Conversely, action scenes employ tighter framing, handheld cameras, and rapid cuts to convey urgency and disorientation. The juxtaposition of these styles accentuates the protagonist's dual existence and the film's blending of art and violence. Visual motifs recur throughout, weaving symbolic meaning into the fabric of the film. Mirrors and reflections appear frequently, often fragmented or distorted, suggesting themes of identity, perception, and self-reckoning. Ice and frost patterns, sometimes subtly incorporated into set details or costumes, evoke fragility and the passage of time. These motifs are not merely decorative but invite viewers to engage with the narrative on a metaphorical level, enriching the viewing experience. Set design extends beyond physical spaces to encompass objects imbued with emotional resonance. Personal belongings, worn point shoes, faded photographs, carefully kept letters, populate the protagonist's environments, serving as tangible links to her past and anchors for memory. These details deepen character development and provide visual storytelling that complements dialogue and action. Sound design works in harmony with visuals to create an immersive atmosphere. The ambient soundscape incorporates environmental noises, the creak of floorboards, the whisper of fabric, distant sirens, that envelop viewers in the film's world. Silence is used strategically, heightening tension and focusing attention on visual and emotional cues. The minimalist musical score punctuates key moments, its haunting melodies underscoring the film's themes of loss and resilience. The film also explores the contrast between public and private spaces. The ballet studio and personal quarters offer glimpses into the protagonist's inner life, spaces of vulnerability and authenticity, while public urban spaces reflect societal pressures, danger, and performative roles. This spatial dichotomy reinforces the narrative's examination of identity and the masks people wear. Seasonal and weather elements contribute additional layers of meaning. The occasional rain-soaked street or fog-laden night adds texture and symbolism, suggesting cleansing, obscurity, or transformation. These natural phenomena are woven seamlessly into the film's visual grammar, enhancing mood and reinforcing thematic concerns. The interplay of architecture, both modern and decayed, provides a commentary on the city's dual nature. Sleek glass facades reflect ambition and power, while crumbling brick and rusted metal speak to history, neglect, and the passage of time. This architectural dialogue mirrors the protagonist's journey through spaces of aspiration and ruin. Costume design further integrates setting and character. The juxtaposition of delicate ballet attire with rugged, tactical elements visually narrates the fusion of worlds the protagonist inhabits. Fabric choices, textures, and colors are carefully coordinated with environments to create cohesion and symbolic depth. In sum, the film's settings and cinematic elements form a rich, interconnected system that shapes the viewer's experience on multiple levels. Through meticulous attention to location, lighting, color, sound, and camera work, the filmmakers craft an immersive world where every detail, from the flicker of a shadow to the gleam of a costume, carries meaning. This holistic approach transforms the film into a sensory and emotional journey, inviting audiences not just to watch but to feel the story's pulse and inhabit its intricate dance between light and darkness, beauty and danger. The making of this film was itself a dance, a complex, often unpredictable interplay of people, places, and pressures that shaped not only the final product but the shared experience of everyone involved. Behind the polished sequences of ballet-infused combat and shadowed cityscapes lay days and nights filled with laughter, tension, ingenuity, and resilience. These behind-the-scenes moments reveal a world where artistry met grit, where collaboration sparked innovation, and where the human spirit thrived amid the challenges of bringing such a unique vision to life. From the outset, the production faced the daunting task of blending two seemingly disparate disciplines, the elegance of ballet and the raw intensity of action filmmaking. To bridge this gap, the cast and crew embraced a spirit of openness and experimentation. Rehearsal spaces doubled as laboratories where dancers taught actors the subtleties of movement, while stunt coordinators adapted martial arts techniques to harmonize with balletic flow. This cross-pollination wasn't always smooth. Early attempts to merge precise dance steps with high-impact combat occasionally resulted in awkward missteps and unintended tumbles. But these moments of trial fueled growth, leading to a shared language of movement that became the film's signature. One particularly memorable rehearsal saw the lead actress grappling with a complicated sequence that required a rapid transition from a pirouette into a defensive strike. After numerous attempts, frustration mounted. Then, an unexpected burst of laughter broke the tension as a crew member quipped about turning the scene into a dance-off. This light-hearted moment sparked renewed energy, leading to a breakthrough that harmonized grace and power in a way that delighted the entire team. It was a small but telling example of how humor and camaraderie fueled creative breakthroughs. The relationships forged on set went beyond professional collaboration. Cast and crew often gathered in the evenings to unwind, sharing meals, stories, and sometimes spontaneous dance sessions that echoed the film's themes. The lead actress, known for her warmth and enthusiasm, initiated movement circles, where participants would improvise gestures and expressions, fostering trust and deepening their connection to the physical storytelling. These informal gatherings became a sanctuary, a space where the intensity of filming could be balanced by joy and human connection. Filming in actual locations presented its own set of adventures. The ballet studio used for many pivotal scenes was a historic venue with creaky floors and quirky acoustics. During one shoot, a sudden rainstorm caused a leak in the ceiling, dribbling water onto the polished stage mid-dance sequence. Rather than disrupt filming, the director improvised, incorporating the rain's rhythmic patter into the scene's soundscape, adding a haunting layer to the visuals. The cast marveled at how nature's unpredictability sometimes enriched the art in unexpected ways. The city's streets, often deserted for nighttime shoots, sometimes played tricks on the crew. In one incident, a series of unusual noises, clanks, footsteps, distant shouts, echoed through a narrow alley just as cameras were rolling. Initially thinking it was part of the ambient sound design, the crew realized it was a group of night shift workers carrying out maintenance. The actors, maintaining character, improvised reactions that were so compelling they were left in the final cut, adding authenticity and spontaneity to the scene. Stunt sequences, central to the film's dynamic energy, demanded both precision and trust. A particularly challenging rooftop chase required actors to move swiftly across precarious ledges while coordinating with camera operators balancing on cranes. Safety was paramount, but the inherent risks were real. During one take, a gust of wind caused a loose prop to shift dangerously, narrowly missing a performer. The incident underscored the crew's vigilance and commitment to safety, prompting adjustments that improved protocols without compromising the scene's intensity. The makeup department faced unique challenges in portraying the physical toll of the protagonist's journey. From subtle bruising to signs of exhaustion, their work had to be convincing yet nuanced. One creative solution involved layering translucent prosthetics that changed appearance under different lighting conditions, allowing the same makeup to look fresh in close-ups and dramatic under shadows. This attention to detail contributed significantly to the film's immersive realism. Technology and tradition intersected in fascinating ways during production. While high-tech camera rigs and drone footage captured sweeping cityscapes, the team also incorporated handcrafted set pieces and practical effects. For example, a pivotal scene involving a shattered mirror required a specially designed breakaway prop that was both safe and visually compelling. The prop makers crafted it over weeks, combining artistry and engineering. On set, the moment the mirror shattered elicited genuine gasps, a testament to the craft's power to evoke real emotion. The sound crew's efforts extended beyond the studio. They conducted field recordings in empty theaters and bustling urban nights to capture authentic audio textures. Sometimes, these sessions yielded unexpected treasures. During a late-night recording, the microphone picked up a distant street musician whose melancholic tune resonated with the film's mood. This sound snippet was woven into the score, becoming a subtle leitmotif that echoes the story's emotional currents. Post-production was a crucible of creativity and collaboration. Editor Lydia Chen worked closely with the director and composer to synchronize visual rhythm and musical flow. Their iterative process involved screening cuts to select audiences, gathering feedback that informed adjustments to pacing and tone. One notable innovation was the integration of ambient soundscapes with musical motifs, blurring boundaries to create an enveloping sensory experience. Marketing embraced the film's unique blend of elegance and intensity through interactive campaigns. Fans were invited to engage with virtual ballet masterclasses, behind-the-scenes documentaries, and augmented reality experiences that allowed exploration of key locations. This approach fostered a community of enthusiasts who connected with the film's artistic ambitions beyond the theater. Despite the challenges, the wrap party was a joyous culmination. Held in the same ballet studio that had served as a creative haven, it featured performances, speeches, and heartfelt acknowledgments. Cast and crew shared reflections, expressing gratitude for the shared journey. The event underscored the deep bonds formed and the transformative power of collective artistic endeavor. In the end, the making of this film was a testament to resilience, creativity, and human connection. Behind every scene lies a tapestry of effort and inspiration. Moments of triumph over adversity, sparks of joy amid exhaustion, and a shared commitment to telling a story that moves both body and soul. These behind-the-scenes insights remind us that cinema is not only about images on screen but about the people and processes that bring those images to life in ways that resonate deeply and endure. There is a quiet yet relentless pulse running beneath the surface of this film, a rhythm that echoes through its choreography, its visual storytelling, and the very fabric of its narrative. At first glance, the story may appear as a striking fusion of ballet and action, a tale of vengeance etched in graceful movements and fierce combat. But beneath this visceral exterior lies a profound meditation on identity, transformation, resilience, and the search for self amid chaos. The film's themes and symbolism do not merely color the story, they form its very bones, shaping how viewers connect with its characters and their journeys. Central to the film is the theme of duality, the constant tension between opposing forces that coexist within the protagonist and her world. This duality manifests physically in the protagonist's fusion of ballet and violence, where elegance meets brutality, discipline embraces chaos. Her body becomes a battleground where grace and power negotiate space, echoing the larger conflict between innocence and experience, creation and destruction. The film uses this duality to challenge simplistic binaries, inviting viewers to contemplate the complexity of human nature and the multifaceted paths to survival. The motif of dance itself is rich with symbolic resonance. Ballet, traditionally associated with beauty, control, and discipline, serves as a metaphor for the protagonist's internal struggle. The rigorous training and repetition symbolize her attempts to impose order on a fractured identity and turbulent past. Yet, dance is also an expression of freedom and transformation, a language through which she communicates emotions that words fail to capture. Moments where ballet sequences intertwine seamlessly with combat highlight this interplay, suggesting that even in violence, there is an artfulness born of intention and passion. Loss and grief are woven into the narrative's core, shaping character motivations and emotional landscapes. The film portrays these experiences not as isolated traumas but as catalysts for growth and self-discovery. The protagonist's journey through mourning becomes a quest for meaning and agency, transforming pain into purpose. Symbolically, the recurring imagery of shattered mirrors and fractured reflections captures this theme, broken pieces reflecting fragmented selves seeking coherence. These shards serve as visual metaphors for the protagonist's fractured identity and the process of piecing together a new self. Isolation and connection form another vital thematic axis. The film explores the paradox of solitude as both a refuge and a prison. The protagonist often moves through spaces alone, her isolation heightened by the city's vastness and shadows. Yet, throughout her journey, she encounters moments of unexpected intimacy, brief alliances, shared vulnerabilities, and fleeting trust that underscore humanity's deep-seated need for connection. The ballet studio, recurring as a sanctuary, symbolizes this tension, a space of solitude where discipline thrives but also a place that nurtures community and support. Power and control are examined through both personal and systemic lenses. On one hand, the protagonist's mastery over her body and environment reflects a reclamation of agency, a resistance against forces that sought to diminish her. On the other, the antagonist embodies institutional power wielded through manipulation and violence. The film critiques hierarchical systems that perpetuate cycles of oppression, using the city's underworld as a microcosm. The delicate balance of dominance and submission in the narrative mirrors the discipline of ballet, where control is both an art and a form of constraint. Transformation and rebirth emerge as overarching themes, reflected in narrative arcs and symbolic imagery. The protagonist's evolution from victim to avenger to self-realized agent encapsulates this journey. Visual motifs, such as the recurring use of light filtering through cracked glass, the cyclical rise and fall of dance movements, and the interplay of shadow and illumination, underscore the process of shedding old selves and embracing new identities. These symbols invite viewers to consider transformation not as a singular event but as an ongoing dance with change. The film also engages with the theme of memory, its power, fragility, and the ways it shapes identity. Flashbacks and dreamlike sequences reveal the protagonist's past, blending reality and perception. These moments emphasize how memories can both haunt and guide, offering anchors amid uncertainty. The ballet, in this context, becomes a vessel for preserving and reinterpreting memory, a physical manifestation of the past's imprint on the present. Symbolism extends to specific objects and settings that enrich thematic depth. The ballet studio stands as a potent symbol, a space of refuge, discipline, and artistry, but also of confinement and loss. Its recurring presence marks pivotal emotional beats, reminding viewers of the protagonist's roots and the tension between sanctuary and captivity. Mirrors, often cracked or obscured, symbolize self-examination and the elusive nature of truth. Their fractured reflections speak to the multiplicity of identity and the challenges of self-understanding. Costumes carry symbolic weight as well, visually narrating character evolution. The protagonist's wardrobe transitions from delicate, ethereal fabrics to more rugged, tactical attire, reflecting her journey from innocence to empowerment. Color choices, soft pastels giving way to darker, muted tones punctuated by flashes of red, underscore shifts in mood and agency. These visual cues operate subtly yet powerfully, guiding emotional responses and deepening character insight. The film's interplay of light and shadow functions as a metaphor for knowledge and ignorance, hope and despair. Scenes illuminated by soft, diffused light convey moments of clarity and vulnerability, while those steeped in darkness evoke mystery and threat. The use of chiaroscuro lighting recalls classical art traditions, lending the film a painterly quality that reinforces its thematic sophistication. Sound and music are woven into the film's symbolic fabric. The score's blend of classical and electronic elements mirrors the fusion of tradition and modernity, beauty and tension. The rhythmic patterns of the music echo the choreography, reinforcing themes of order and disruption. Ambient sounds, footsteps, fabric rustling, distant city noises, anchor scenes in reality while enhancing emotional texture. Themes of agency and fate interlace through character decisions and narrative structure. The protagonist's struggle to assert control against forces seeking to define her fate raises questions about free will and destiny. This tension is mirrored in the cyclical patterns of dance and violence, suggesting that while individuals are shaped by circumstances, they also possess the power to rewrite their stories. The film's exploration of gender and empowerment is woven organically into its themes. The protagonist's journey challenges traditional depictions of femininity and strength, presenting a complex figure whose power derives from both physical skill and emotional depth. The ballet, a traditionally feminine art, is reclaimed as a form of resistance and self-expression, subverting stereotypes and expanding possibilities. In its layered symbolism and thematic richness, the film invites viewers into a world where every gesture, every setting, every shadow holds meaning. It asks us to look beyond surface conflicts and to engage with the profound questions of identity, loss, and transformation. Through its intricate dance of images and ideas, the story becomes a meditation on the human capacity to endure, to evolve, and to find grace even in the darkest moments. Ultimately, the film's themes and symbolism transform it into more than a tale of vengeance or survival. It becomes a poetic exploration of what it means to be fractured and whole, controlled and free, isolated and connected. Its narrative is a choreography of the soul, a journey that resonates with anyone who has sought to reclaim themselves from the shadows and dance into the light. The art of filmmaking is a dance itself, one of light and shadow, movement and stillness, sound and silence. In crafting this film, the creators approached their work much like a choreographer designs a ballet, with precision, intention, and an eye for rhythm. The techniques employed throughout production and post-production weren't mere technical choices. They were essential tools that shaped the film's very atmosphere, immersing audiences in a world where every frame carries emotional weight, and every note of sound resonates with meaning. From the earliest planning stages, the director and cinematographer envisioned a visual style that would mirror the film's thematic core, a juxtaposition of elegance and violence, control and chaos. To achieve this, they favored a cinematography approach that balanced naturalism with stylized composition. The camera work embraces fluidity, often following the protagonist with sweeping, graceful movements that mimic the flow of dance. In key sequences, tracking shots glide through spaces, weaving between characters and environments, creating a sense of continuous motion that mirrors the ballet choreography. The camera work embraces fluidity, often following the protagonist with sweeping, graceful movements that mimic the flow of dance. In key sequences, tracking shots glide through spaces, weaving between characters and environments, creating a sense of continuous motion that mirrors the ballet choreography. Yet, in contrast to these fluid moments, the filmmakers also employed handheld and shaky cam techniques during scenes of tension and conflict. This choice grounds the action in immediacy, conveying disorientation and vulnerability. The oscillation between smooth, controlled camera work and jittery, urgent perspectives reflects the protagonist's internal struggle, a body moving with practiced grace yet navigating a chaotic and dangerous world. This dynamic interplay keeps viewers emotionally engaged, shifting their sensory experience in tandem with narrative beats. Lighting design was integral in sculpting the film's mood. The team utilized a palette of cool blues and muted grays punctuated by strategic splashes of warm tones. Soft, diffused lighting bathed the ballet studio in a serene glow, emphasizing purity and discipline, while stark, high-contrast lighting transformed urban environments into arenas of suspense and menace. Shadows were not simply absences of light but active players, stretching, shifting, concealing, contributing to the sense of mystery and psychological depth. The use of chiaroscuro and selective illumination borrowed from classical painting traditions, lending the film a painterly quality that enriched its visual storytelling. Color grading in post-production further refined this aesthetic. The desaturated base palette gave way to bursts of saturated color in moments of emotional intensity, a crimson scarf, a flash of neon, that served as visual punctuation marks. These color accents guided viewers' attention and underscored thematic elements, such as passion, danger, and transformation. The interplay of muted and vibrant hues became a language unto itself, conveying subtext and emotion beyond dialogue. Editing played a pivotal role in establishing the film's rhythm. Editor Lydia Chen crafted a pacing that balanced tension with reflection, seamlessly weaving together high-energy action sequences and quieter, contemplative moments. The editing rhythm often echoed the protagonist's movements. Rapid cuts during combat mirrored the quick tempo of fight choreography, while longer takes during introspective scenes allowed emotions to settle and deepen. This deliberate modulation of pace immersed audiences in the protagonist's psychological landscape, making the narrative experience both visceral and intimate. Transitions between scenes employed a variety of techniques to reinforce thematic and emotional continuity. Crossfades and dissolves softened temporal shifts, particularly during flashbacks or dreamlike sequences, evoking the fluidity of memory and consciousness. Abrupt cuts and jump cuts heightened disorientation in moments of crisis, aligning viewer perception with the protagonist's fractured experience. These editing choices, subtle yet impactful, guided the audience through the story's complex temporal layers. Sound design was crafted with equal care and innovation. Departing from conventional scoring, the film's auditory landscape blends environmental sounds, subtle musical motifs, and diegetic noises to create an immersive soundscape. The rustle of fabric, the soft tap of point shoes, the distant hum of the city, all these elements are woven into the mix, grounding scenes in reality while enhancing emotional texture. Composer Lila Vargas infused the score with minimalist electronic textures interlaced with classical motifs, echoing the fusion of ballet and combat. The music ebbed and flowed with the narrative, at times hauntingly sparse, at others pulsating with intensity. Dialogue is often delivered in hushed tones or accompanied by ambient noise, reinforcing the film's atmosphere of secrecy and tension. Silence is used strategically. Moments without sound heighten suspense, allowing viewers to focus on visual cues and emotional undercurrents. The integration of sound and silence functions as a narrative device, amplifying mood and inviting deeper engagement. Camera angles and framing were employed thoughtfully to convey character psychology and thematic resonance. Close-ups capture subtle expressions, the flicker of doubt, the tightening of resolve, drawing viewers into intimate emotional spaces. Wide shots situate characters within vast, imposing environments, underscoring themes of isolation and struggle. Low-angle shots imbue the protagonist with power and determination, while high-angle shots convey vulnerability. The careful composition of each frame enhances storytelling, turning visuals into emotional language. Practical effects were favored to maintain authenticity. Fight scenes relied on choreographed stunts performed by actors and doubles, with minimal digital enhancement. This tactile approach lent sequences a raw, visceral quality. The use of real sets, tangible props, and detailed costumes enriched the sensory experience, allowing actors to interact organically with their surroundings and elevating the film's realism. The filmmakers also embraced innovative technology. Drone cameras captured sweeping aerial shots of the cityscape, contrasting with intimate handheld footage. Specialized rigs enabled fluid tracking through narrow corridors and complex choreography. These tools expanded the film's visual vocabulary, providing diverse perspectives that enhanced narrative immersion. Box office strategy aligned with the film's artistic ambitions. Recognizing its niche appeal and thematic depth, distributors opted for a targeted release that included prestigious film festivals followed by limited theatrical runs and streaming availability. This approach aimed to build critical acclaim and word of mouth among cinephiles, emphasizing quality over mass-market saturation. Marketing campaigns highlighted the film's unique blend of ballet and action, using striking visuals and behind-the-scenes content to attract audiences intrigued by its artistic fusion. Audience reception reflected the success of these techniques. Many praised the film's immersive atmosphere and emotional nuance, noting how the cinematography, editing, and sound design worked harmoniously to create a cohesive sensory journey. The fusion of graceful movement and gritty realism offered a fresh cinematic experience that distinguished the film within its genre. Discussions often centered on the film's ability to engage both the intellect and the senses, inviting viewers to inhabit the protagonist's world fully. In essence, the film's filmmaking techniques are a masterclass in visual and auditory storytelling. Every camera movement, lighting choice, edit, and sound cue is deliberate, crafted to evoke emotion, build tension, and reveal character. This meticulous attention to craft transforms the film from a mere narrative into a living, breathing experience, where viewers do not just watch but feel every step of the journey. Through this fusion of artistry and technique, the film achieves a rare alchemy, a story told not only through words and action but through the very language of cinema itself. The closing act of a film's journey, both on and off the screen, is often a place where reflection deepens, and the layers of meaning coalesce into a resonant whole. As we draw together the threads of this cinematic tapestry, it becomes clear that this film is far more than a striking visual spectacle or a thrilling action piece. It is a profound meditation on the complexities of identity, resilience, and transformation, articulated through a synthesis of artistry, performance, and storytelling that lingers in the mind and heart long after the final frame fades. At its core, the film invites us into a world defined by contrasts: light and shadow, grace and violence, solitude and connection. These juxtapositions do not exist simply for dramatic effect, they serve as metaphors for the human condition itself. The protagonist's journey, from the quiet discipline of the ballet studio to the perilous streets of a shadowed city, embodies a universal quest for meaning and self-definition amid chaos. Her body becomes both canvas and weapon, a site where beauty and brutality intermingle in a complex dance that challenges conventional notions of power and vulnerability. The film's thematic richness emerges through its nuanced exploration of trauma and healing. Loss is not a moment but a process, a force that fractures yet ultimately shapes the self. Through visual motifs such as shattered mirrors and fractured reflections, the narrative illustrates the protagonist's struggle to piece together an identity shattered by violence. The ballet, with its repetitive rigor and expressive potential, becomes a symbol of this reconstruction, a language through which pain is transformed into agency. Moreover, the film delves into the dynamics of power, not merely physical might but psychological and systemic control. The antagonist's shadowy presence embodies institutionalized oppression, a force that perpetuates cycles of fear and subjugation. The protagonist's resistance, therefore, is not only personal but emblematic of a broader fight for justice and autonomy. This tension between individual agency and structural constraint resonates deeply, inviting viewers to reflect on their own encounters with power and resistance. Isolation, another central theme, is portrayed with emotional authenticity. The city's vastness and labyrinthine spaces underscore the protagonist's solitude, yet the narrative reveals that even in isolation, connection and compassion persist. The delicate alliances forged throughout her journey highlight the human need for community and support, even amid distrust and betrayal. This balance enriches the emotional landscape, preventing the story from descending into bleakness and affirming hope's presence amid darkness. Symbolism throughout the film is masterfully woven, transforming settings, objects, and movements into carriers of meaning. The ballet studio, a recurring locus, is a sanctuary of discipline and memory but also a cage that binds and constrains. Mirrors fragment identity, light and shadow interplay to reveal hidden truths, and costumes trace the evolution from innocence to empowerment. These elements deepen the narrative, inviting viewers to engage actively, decoding layers of metaphor that amplify emotional resonance. The filmmaking techniques employed amplify these themes with artistry and precision. Cinematography captures the protagonist's dual existence through fluid tracking and intimate close-ups, while lighting sculpts mood and meaning with chiaroscuro contrasts. Editing rhythms mirror emotional currents, alternating between kinetic bursts and reflective pauses. Sound design and score envelop the audience in a textured auditory world where every breath, every footfall, contributes to immersion. This holistic craft elevates the film, making it an experience felt as much as understood. Behind the scenes, the production's challenges and triumphs mirror the film's own themes of perseverance and transformation. The fusion of ballet and combat, the delicate balance of technical innovation and artistic expression, and the deep camaraderie among cast and crew all testify to a collective commitment to realizing a singular vision. Stories of improvisation, creative problem-solving, and human connection enrich our appreciation of the final work, reminding us that cinema is a collaborative art born from both discipline and serendipity. Critically, the film has resonated as a fresh and meaningful addition to contemporary cinema. Its nuanced portrayal of a female protagonist who embodies both strength and vulnerability expands genre possibilities and contributes to ongoing conversations about representation and empowerment. Audiences and critics alike have praised its ability to marry spectacle with emotional depth, delivering thrills that engage the body and themes that touch the soul. Ultimately, this film is a testament to the enduring power of storytelling. How narrative, movement, and visual language combine to explore what it means to endure, to fight, and to reclaim oneself. Its dance between light and shadow, between elegance and danger, becomes a metaphor for the human journey itself, fraught with challenges, shaped by loss, but also illuminated by hope and the possibility of transformation. As viewers, we are invited not only to witness a story but to inhabit a space where art and emotion intersect, where every gesture carries weight, and where survival is as much about the heart as the body. The film's legacy lies in this invitation, to dance with complexity, to embrace contradiction, and to find grace even in the darkest moments. It stands as a luminous example of cinema's capacity to move us, challenge us, and ultimately, transform us. The unfolding of this film is, in many ways, a journey not just through a narrative but into the very essence of what it means to be human, to grapple with loss and identity, to balance control and chaos, and to seek light amid darkness. As the story settles into its final moments, it invites us to linger, to reflect on the weight of every choice, and to recognize that the dance we have witnessed is a reflection of our own inner struggles. It reminds us that survival is never simply about physical endurance, but about the courage to confront oneself and the world with honesty and resilience. What makes this film so compelling is the way it refuses to offer easy answers. The protagonist's path is marked by ambiguity, victories are tinged with cost, alliances shadowed by doubt, and moments of tenderness underscored by tension. This moral complexity elevates the story beyond a straightforward tale of revenge into a meditation on the gray spaces between right and wrong, love and pain, freedom and constraint. It challenges viewers to hold contradictions in their minds and hearts, fostering empathy and insight rather than judgment. The significance of this narrative lies not only in its specific events, but in how those events echo universal themes of transformation. The protagonist's evolution is emblematic of the human capacity for renewal, that even when fractured, we can find ways to rebuild, to reclaim agency, and to create meaning from suffering. The ballet, with its relentless repetition and quest for perfection, serves as a potent metaphor for this process. A discipline striving toward balance, beauty, and self-expression despite the fragility inherent in every movement. Moreover, the film's exploration of power, how it is wielded, resisted, and negotiated, resonates deeply in a world grappling with systemic inequalities and personal struggles for autonomy. The antagonist is not a mere villain but a representation of the forces that seek to define and confine identity, to impose order through fear and control. The protagonist's resistance, therefore, becomes an act of rebellion against these forces, a statement that agency and self-determination endure even in the most oppressive circumstances. This thematic thread enriches the film's narrative, inviting viewers to consider their own positions within systems of power and the possibilities for change. The use of setting and cinematic elements throughout the film reinforces these themes. The recurring imagery of mirrors and reflections, light and shadow, dance and combat creates a visual language that speaks to the film's deeper concerns. These symbols are not static but dynamic, shifting in meaning as the protagonist moves through her journey. They invite viewers to engage actively with the story, to decode its metaphors and to connect emotionally with the characters' inner worlds. Sound and music further deepen this immersive experience. The interplay of ambient noises, minimalist score, and moments of silence constructs a sonic environment that echoes the film's emotional contours. The music's fusion of classical and electronic elements mirrors the blending of tradition and innovation in the story, reinforcing the tension between past and present, discipline and freedom. This soundscape envelopes viewers, making the film's world tangible and visceral. Beyond the narrative and technical mastery, the film stands as a testament to collaboration and creative passion. The stories from the set, of rigorous training, inventive problem-solving, and shared moments of joy and challenge, reveal the human heart beating behind the camera. The dedication of the cast and crew, their willingness to embrace risk and innovation, and their commitment to authenticity infuse the film with a vitality that transcends its script. In its reception, the film has sparked conversations about representation, genre blending, and the power of storytelling to explore complex identities. Its success lies in its ability to connect with diverse audiences, offering both thrilling entertainment and profound emotional resonance. It stands as a milestone in contemporary cinema, a work that expands the possibilities of action storytelling by infusing it with artistic depth and human truth. Ultimately, this film is more than a story on screen. It is an invitation to reflect on our own dances with identity, power, and resilience. It reminds us that beneath the surface of every struggle lies a narrative of grace and strength, and that through art, we can find pathways to understanding, healing, and hope. As the lights dim and the credits roll, we carry with us the echoes of its movements, the delicate balance between shadow and light, the enduring quest for self amid a world in flux. This is the legacy of the film, a celebration of complexity, a challenge to conventions, and a luminous exploration of the human spirit's capacity to endure and transform. It is a story that invites us to look deeper, to feel more fully, and to dance with the shadows within and without, embracing the beauty and fragility of existence with courage and grace. The unfolding of this film is, in many ways, a journey not just through a narrative but into the very essence of what it means to be human, to grapple with loss and identity, to balance control and chaos, and to seek light amid darkness. As the story settles into its final moments, it invites us to linger, to reflect on the weight of every choice, and to recognize that the dance we have witnessed is a reflection of our own inner struggles. It reminds us that survival is never simply about physical endurance, but about the courage to confront oneself and the world with honesty and resilience. What makes this film so compelling is the way it refuses to offer easy answers. The protagonist's path is marked by ambiguity. Victories are tinged with cost, alliances shadowed by doubt, and moments of tenderness underscored by tension. This moral complexity elevates the story beyond a straightforward tale of revenge into a meditation on the gray spaces between right and wrong, love and pain, freedom and constraint. It challenges viewers to hold contradictions in their minds and hearts, fostering empathy and insight rather than judgment. The significance of this narrative lies not only in its specific events, but in how those events echo universal themes of transformation. The protagonist's evolution is emblematic of the human capacity for renewal, that even when fractured, we can find ways to rebuild, to reclaim agency, and to create meaning from suffering. The ballet, with its relentless repetition and quest for perfection, serves as a potent metaphor for this process. A discipline striving toward balance, beauty, and self-expression despite the fragility inherent in every movement. Moreover, the film's exploration of power, how it is wielded, resisted, and negotiated, resonates deeply in a world grappling with systemic inequalities and personal struggles for autonomy. The antagonist is not a mere villain but a representation of the forces that seek to define and confine identity, to impose order through fear and control. The protagonist's resistance, therefore, becomes an act of rebellion against these forces, a statement that agency and self-determination endure even in the most oppressive circumstances. This thematic thread enriches the film's narrative, inviting viewers to consider their own positions within systems of power and the possibilities for change. The use of setting and cinematic elements throughout the film reinforces these themes.